Are you into crime? Like a lot of people are into crime.
You know what's so funny is I have cops and firefighters all in my family because I'm an Irish, trash bag from Chicago. So it's like your whole that's all your whole family is cops and firefighters. But I never liked to hear about it because then I thought then I would know someone that was going to get hurt. Every time I heard about like cops getting shot and stuff like that, it gave me the fucking creeps because I thought about my family and then I was like, man, what if it's somebody I know? Because we know too many cops, so I always got scared about hearing homicide stories.
Who's going to take a shot? What criminal is going to take a shot at a police officer? Because if you're a criminal, you know if I shoot a fucking cop, and they get me, they're going to kill me.
They do it all the fucking time.
Today they don't have it. They just don't do it.
Because of meth that's out there, cocaine, they don't give a fuck.
I mean, 2 Chicago cops just got killed, and one of them got shot with her own gun. They went out on a domestic dispute call, I think, and it was something about a dog or something, and it was just in the news. It was fucking tragic, and they went in there to investigate. I think it was a domestic call. I might be wrong, but whatever the case. And whatever scuffle.
Why are those the most frightening ones? The domestic, because you got a guy that's irrational. They're fighting. Exactly. He's all hopped.
Yeah, man, you don't know what he's on.
And you go to hook him, and then you got to worry about the wife jumping on your back because she really didn't want him to go because that's the breadwinner of the family, and I love him. And
they call the cops and then they want to hurt the cops when they get there because they're afraid they're going to lose.
And plus, it's tough because you don't know what's going through his mind.
Yeah,
I ain't going back to the joint. I ain't doing this. Fuck this. Is he under the influence? It's a tough world, and with everybody looking at you today, it's a tough.
Tell me, this is true. I saw this the other day on the internet. There was a video compilation of patrol cops, when they pull people over. They touch the back of the car. Have you ever seen this? Do you know what this is for? Have you ever heard of this or seen this?
To like leave a thumbprint or something?
Yeah, I never knew that. So there's a video, a bunch of cops, when they patrol and they pull people over, they put their hand on the trunk, which is wild because I remember being pulled over and he tapped my trunk twice.
Wow.
And I was like, why? I was like, why did you just touch the trunk?
I don't know.
And he rolled right through the question, but that was what it said online was to leave fingerprints in case something happened.
I just, never heard of that.
No, see, okay, good.
Cops for 38 years, but in hindsight, the way things are now,
maybe that's why.
Not a bad move.
So you heard of it too, right? They leave fingerprints.
I've never heard of that.
I don't know how official.
Just in case some shit goes wrong. Look, it's probably just something that, if that's not true, it sounds too. It's like it sounds too true that you're like, it is true. To me, it's true.
Sounds like something they ought to be training in the academy.
Yeah,
serious business. That's
sure, because then you find the car and you go to the thing and
exactly.
You could see if somebody was there.
My wife is into all that stuff, that like murder mystery and all that shit. You like that? I can't do it, man.
See, I don't have it, but
I don't like any of it.
Yeah, I mean, I think you were too close to it now.
Maybe I just think, maybe
Chicago too is like a not.
It's just. I didn't like the stories because I was like, is that gonna be someone I know? But she loves that shit.
Dirty town.
It is. It's gotten way worse now.
Cops were not so. Mario, the guy that had the place on Sunset, he had the Roxy and the other place right next door.
The Rainbow.
The Rainbow.
Who's that? Mario who?
Mario, I can't remember his last name. It was an Italian. And they just opened one about 10 years ago over in Vegas. But then he died. But he had the ones right there. He's an old Chicago cop. And as the story goes, he was a money man for the judge. Mm-hmm. And got all that money that he had left over, came over here and turned it into a legitimate business. And he was from Chicago. Michael Mann, when he made the movie Heat.
Yeah.
Michael Mann's from Chicago. And he had a captain out here from Chicago, and they asked me if I'd help him out doing interviews, teaching Pacino and these guys, how to do some interviews. And I told Michael Mann, I said, I can't do it with this guy. I mean, this guy's from Chicago. They put their hands on people. We don't do that shit out here. And he says, just go out there and do it. So we're doing this interview, and he brought with him a buddy from Chicago who's an old Chicago wise guy. And he's sitting there, and I'm talking to him. I say, hey, what's your name? Bill. Bill, do you have a last name? Yeah. What's your last name? Smith. Do you have a middle name? Yeah. I mean, he's just making everything hard. And I'm starting to get a case of the ass. I'm saying, look, I ain't got time to be fucking around here. We're going to straighten this shit out. Just then my beeper goes off. My pager. We used to use pagers.
Oh, yeah.
And I had some guy covering an autopsy for me. Because all of a sudden this cop, the retired captain, reaches over and smacks this guy right across the fucking chops. Hard. And I said, excuse me, I'm going to go answer this page. So I go up, and there's a wall right there, and I answer the fucking page. and it's Bobby Tucson. Bobby says, "Hey, Gil, he's just like you said. It was a through and through the head, no big." And then he could hear this guy screaming, and he said, "What's that? Where you at? Give me an address. Where you at? We're rolling." And I said, "No, I'm on a movie set. It's okay, Bobby." What this captain has done is he's reached down. He's got a handful of the guy's nuts, and he says, "You have something we want, and I've got something you want." Oh my God! And then the guy, he asks him another question. And he squeezes more, and the guy blood curdling scream, and Tucson saying, "God damn it, Gil, give me an address. We'll roll anybody." I'm saying no, and then Michael Mann finally, you hear Michael Mann saying, "All right, cut. Okay, that was good. I said, you see, it's just a movie," said Bobby. It's okay, but
he's grabbing this dude's nuts for real.
Yeah,
oh boy, no thanks. It's a wrap.
There was an actor in that movie. I don't want to say who it is because he didn't give me permission, but. He told me that he used to do strong arm robberies. Then he turned into an actor, and they shot at Bob Big Boy on Riverside, and he was in there shooting the movie, and he was looking around, and he put his head down. He goes, "I think I fucking robbed this place." And he goes, "I wonder if if the managers or people here are gonna fucking remember that."
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
And I know who you're talking about. And we interviewed him.
He said, "Hey, fucking."
And
all of a sudden he's like,
the manager's like, "Can I get you guys anything?" Nothing. No, we're good, man.
Don't look at me.
Okay.
I'm looking at this guy, and I'm talking to him, and I'm saying, "Now look at me. Look at me. Do I have a tattoo of a P on my forehead?" He said, "No." I said, "Because I'm not a pendejo." I said, "Now, motherfucker, you better start." And this guy's breaking out in a sweat. And Michael Mann finally said, "Okay, cut. Excellent. And he comes up to me and says, "Man."
Fucking sweating.
Great job.
Yeah, great.
He says, "I haven't been sweating like that, man. That was like the real thing. I haven't been sweated like that in a long time." And Pacino comes, "Gil, that was fucking great. You do great." I said, "No, this is a fucking living for me, brother."
Yeah, that was the real
That's
deal.
what you did. Yeah,
This ain't acting. This was the real deal. So I remember when you said, I know who you got to be talking about now.
Wild. You never got shot at, did you?
As a cop, I got
you did?
as a cop by bad guys and by another cop.
by his own, and he happened to just miss him.
Yeah.
He was trying to hit him.
It was just no controversy. Short version, he thought we were bad guys. We were plain clothes. He thought we were bad guys, and we had guns out. And so he was telling us.
Thankfully, he's a bad shot, huh?
Thankfully, he was saying, "Drop your guns." I'm saying, "Is he talking to us?" And, he said, and his partner, who knew who we were, said, "It's okay. They're cops." He says, "I don't know who they are. Drop your guns." And he yells back. He says, "Hey, they're sheriffs." He says, "I don't know who they are. Drop your gun." Boom! And he fired.
Holy shit.
Yeah, and I said, "Holy shit." I said a lot more than "holy shit."
Did you shoot back?
No, I jumped
shooting right back.
like an elephant.
That's why I can't be a cop. I'm like,
Gil's made
blah, blah,
up
blah, 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 I'm
stuff.
shooting till I get you.
I had already thrown my gun on the ground, but like an elephant, I jumped over the car, got on the other side. My partner, who was pissed, I had another gun strapped to my leg. And I just said, "It's okay, we're back here. If he's going to shoot again, I'll dump him."
Yeah.
And I knew I was confident I could dump him. But I didn't have to because his partner started screaming at him, "You stupid motherfucker." The gang members that were on the street for what? Like Arsenio Hall. It was good stuff. And so he ended up getting fired.
So then he became a sheriff, uniformed sheriff, right?
Yeah.
Patrol. And then he got asked by another high-profile detective, Frank Salerno, who caught the Hillside Strangler.
Yeah.
Bianchi and Bono. And then he said, "Hey, you want to be my partner?"
Yeah, I had been transferred up to homicide because my specialty was gangs. And after doing that for a couple of years, then Salerno approached me because I was in homicide and asked me if I wanted to be his partner. Wow. And I was like, "Fuck yes." That's creme de la creme.
Right, it's top tier.
Yeah.
So the Night Stalker documentary that's on Netflix.
Yeah, it's out right now. It's out
now. That a year ago, probably came out a year ago.
January 14th.
And that's where I saw it. Like, my publicist was like, "Have you seen the Night Stalker?" I've already seen it 3 times in that same day. Right. And Gil was there with Frank, and then Gil was the first person to say, "This is the same guy." And everybody else said, no, it's 2 guys. And he goes, "No, fuck that, it's the same guy." And they, when he left the room, they'd go, "That guy's fucking full of shit, man. It's not one guy doing this bullshit. It's 2 guys."
Why did they think it was just too? It was just too. They thought there's no way one dude could have done all that.
Everything done when you investigate anything you do, even in comedy, everything's predicated on criminal history. Will this work? Will it won't work? Well, nobody in criminal history had been documented doing what I was alleging he was doing.
Huh.
pedophiles stick to kids.
Yeah.
Either girls or boys. This guy was doing both. He was, in his manners of killing, it was guns, knives, shod foot, manual ligature strangulation. He just crossed all the lines. But there were certain things that were there that I could see was one man, and the other guys were saying, "You're full of shit. You're a punk trying to make a name for yourself."
We talked about this before. It's funny that the dude Angelo that I play golf with goes, "Yeah, I'm gonna go back on the podcast where you guys aren't talking about death or what else did he say?"
Yeah, this is interesting.
So I used to work at Northridge in the mid '80s when he was on his fucking tear, and the thing was, there was no internet on this shit, you radio and TV, but you knew he was out there, and he would hit in Northridge, and then when you got out of work, everybody just got the fuck back to their house. But there was like a fucking feeling in the valley of this dude and a fear
that he's everywhere.
And he would fucking deliver. I'd be like, this dude is out there. You think he'd be like, no, they're fucking on me. He would fucking hit.
Wow, it's so creepy.
And people expected him to hit, and he would hit.
What was his number? What did the number end up being?
He ended up killing 14 people here that we're aware of. We dropped one in the interest of justice. He says he was good for 4 more that we weren't aware of. We looked at actually 8 more.
Damn.
But there wasn't enough physical evidence to go ahead and link them. So if we didn't have enough where we knew we'd get a conviction, we wouldn't mess with it.
Because we didn't probably more, huh?
Yeah, we didn't want somebody to say, we didn't want to lose a couple of cases and sway the jurors. Hey, maybe if they were wrong on these, maybe they'd be wrong over here. Mm-hmm. So unless it was a solid case, we didn't take it. He told me that after in custody about 7 years, he'd be willing to talk openly about the other ones that we weren't aware of. And then he got pissed off and he didn't want to talk to me anymore.
Why? He just...
Because he got married when he was in custody. And so the news media...
How does that happen?
This bitch loves this dude.
They get a lot, right? That dude got a lot of women.
They always do. They always do.
But like legit women.
He had some good-looking women following him. One day in court...
It's like Bundy, same thing, right? It's like women were
Tell
obsessed.
me about the ladies that worked there.
The ladies in court. One day, we had a lot of visitors come in court. They just want to see what was going on. And 2 ladies dressed to the tens. They were attorneys, no doubt. Little briefcases. They come in, they sit down there, and they're gorgeous, both of them. Very businesslike. Richard would walk into the courtroom, and every time he walked in, he'd scan the ladies, see who he wanted to look at on the way out, take his time. And so now it's time. I get a phone call. They call me up to the bailiff. I go up and talking on the phone, and I'm looking, and it's time for Richard to walk out. Now he goes back, and he locks eyes with the 2 broads that had walked in, 2 ladies that had walked in. One of them sitting right on a corner. And he looks and smiles at her. She looks at him, blows him a kiss, and opens up her legs.
Get the fuck out of here.
No.
That's crazy.
And I just couldn't believe it. I went back, I told my partner, I said, fuck it, arrest me. It didn't work for me. It was just incredible. He did have
what does this say about beautiful
following.
Women?
And he married...
Crazy.
Bad guys.
They're crazy. They're like bad guys.
And he married
crazy.
an ugly one, too.
Did he?
Yeah, she was ugly. And he got pissed off because... The news media came to me and, what do you think about this? And I said, I thought it was a mockery of the criminal justice system. He wasn't in there for rehab. He was in there for sentence of death.
Yeah.
And why do we have to do anything? And it was a mockery of the sacrament of marriage because his marriage would never be consummated.
Right.
So it just made it all worthless. And so
do they have rights like that in prison where you can get married and you can have visitors?
Well, you can have visitors.
Doesn't
you
it
can't
depend
have
on your level
visits.
of crime, right?
You can't have conjugal visits on death row.
But it depends on your level, right? Doesn't it? You have to get approved by the judge to get a conjugal visit, right? It's not standard, is it?
You can't. My understanding, I won't say for sure. My understanding, inmates on death row cannot have conjugal visits.
Right.
Other inmates can have conjugal
But if they fuck
visits.
them in the shower, it catches. That's like part of the.
That's part of the extras.
That's conjugal surprise, is what that is.
That's so surprise. That soapy surprise.
Yeah, and Richard, the way they visited over there, it's kind of out in the open. Everybody came out to visit in the same spot, and the other inmates, I was told that they hated him. They all wanted him dead because if he was out there on a visit, and somebody else came by to visit, they had their wives or anybody else, he would take his whacker out and start playing with himself, expose himself to the other visitors.
Yeah, sounds
They
right.
hated him. They wanted to kill him.
Wow. It sounds like something. There's no rules, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's prison. You know what I mean?
What are you going to do to the guy?
I'm not here to make friends.
What did they say that
I'm here to jerk off on my friends.
Yeah, the wolf. Wait a minute, hang on. Hey, wait a minute. Lyle and Eric
Menendez
were at were they state and county jail? No.
Yeah, they were in county jail before they got convicted.
And that they were talking to the lawyers that Richard Ramirez walked by, and they both were like,
wait, those are the kids that killed their parents.
yeah.
Yeah,
And they both went like,
Sean Penn.
fucking Richard Ramirez.
Sean Penn was in the jail right across the hallway from Richard.
Oh, when he was,
yeah.
wow.
I don't know what Sean
I
Penn.
think it was drinking and driving, like abuse and stuff.
Yeah, it wasn't long. It wasn't in there for long. It was just in there for a few days, but they were right along. And
So-
Richard wanted to contact him. Sean, my understanding, didn't want to have anything to do with Richard.
I drove by that house when I first moved to LA. You know, in Beverly Hills.
Yeah.
It's on a major.
Was your wife with you? She said, let's go drive by the Menendez.
Yeah, it's on like Cannon or something. It's on a major road in Beverly Hills. I don't remember where, but you can still drive by the house. But the house is still there. And I always think about that. Like, we were talking to this on my podcast about living in your house being haunted.
Right.
I've never been in a house where they had like murder like that. It's crazy.
And did they have to tell you or not?
I think it's something like the next resident they have to tell, but after that, I don't think they do.
Home ownership is different than apartment rentals. They have to tell you stuff. Like,
Yeah, that's us.
They have to do it with homes. They have to do it with homes here too. Yeah.